Alright, ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. Today we're going to look at one of the 3 characters in Persona 4 Arena Ultimax that I play, and he's arguably the one that I find to be the most fun, that being the Personaless version of Sho Minazuki. So just to start us off, this video is intended for a beginner to intermediate guide for Sho. I don't claim to be the best player in the world, but I do enjoy this character a lot, so I would love to see more people take interest in him and see what he has to offer. So without further ado, let's get started. So first and foremost, I want to talk a bit about Sho's game plan. Sho is not a character for those that like to sit back. He's very much a forward-moving character. He complements a player that likes pressing the issue and pushing a pace on the opponent. Sho isn't great defensively. His uppercut reversal has less range than his persona-wielding version in Minazuki. His spot dodge is extremely situational, and he also sports slightly lower health when compared to the field. However, a neat part about Sho is that he is the only character in the game that doesn't have a persona, which, while that might hurt his overall damage and range, he never has to worry about being reliant on a persona for combos, he never has to think about protecting his persona cards, and he can't be persona broken, therefore his burst is always available to be used unless you're getting supered or caught in a shadow frenzy situation. So now that we understand a bit who Sho is as a character, let's talk about his buttons. The first one is 5A. It's a button that has a lot of range and is extremely active. He can stagger with it up to 3 times by holding back, and its follow-up as part of the auto combo also has great range. This is a good combo or pressure starter. 5B is a great horizontal tool. It can catch people backdashing and even catch some roll recovery frames. Again, this is a great move for applying pressure. 2A is a pretty good low starter similar to 5A. It can also stagger up to 3 times, and Sho can also cancel out of it using his special moves. 2B is arguably one of Sho's best buttons. It is a great anti-air tool. It can be cancelled after the first hit and comboed after the first or second. Generally, this is a great tool in almost every situation, be it neutral, combos, pressure, and even some scrambles. 5C is also a great tool for Sho, as it has a large hitbox, it hits behind the opponent on occasion, but most importantly, it allows them to follow up with Rekkas almost in every situation. This move is usually best served as your normal string ender before you move on to your specials or Rekkas. Sho also has other normals like 2C, which is a good pressure tool at higher levels, especially when your opponent is conditioned not to mash or interrupt. It's a great way of getting some plus frames on your opponent. 5D, which is his spot dodge, is also a move that can be useful in spots, but just from a beginner intermediate point of view. I don't want to add too much confusion, so we won't focus on those for today. Now let's move over to Sho's jump attacks. Jump A is usually used as a re-jump tool or an attack that is used for aerial pressure. It's a fine tool to get things started in certain situations, it's really fast, and it's usually a pretty safe move to go to in scrambles. Jump B is used both for aerial pressure as well as a jump starter, and is also used as part of his re-jump combos. Jump C has really good stagger in the air, it hits quite far on a horizontal hitbox, and can be used to jail opponents in place if they try to jump out of pressure, especially in the corner. Now let's talk about some specials. Sho has 2 main specials that are used in tandem with each other. The first is Hogetsuzan, better known as his Rekka special, and the other is his high-speed movement, but I personally like the term Flash Step better. Sho can use his Rekkas both on the ground as well as in the air. They have different properties depending on if you are using the A or B version, although you can mix and match them during your combo. Certain routes require you to use one or the other so the combo doesn't drop, but for now we will focus on some beginner intermediate routes. As far as the Flash Step is concerned, Sho has 2 of them, one that goes farther and takes longer to start up and recover, and the other that doesn't go as far but recovers much quicker, and we'll talk about the EX versions of those moves later. So now that we've covered Sho's main toolkit, I'd like to go over some easy combo routes to get people started. Sho is a pretty combo heavy character, and at a higher level he will require some more strict execution, but for beginner to intermediate levels, these combos should get you a decent amount of damage for a moderate execution requirement. So those were all fairly easy combos. They just require a single hit into roughly the same string and Rekka finisher. However, what if you can't achieve the hit standing or crouching? Well, that's where Sho's flash step comes in handy. I personally like using the faster flash step on the ground and the slower one in the air to cover long distances. However, the timing for the flash step is everything. You can cancel into flash step out of pretty much anything. However, it is a move that can be countered by your opponent if you don't space it correctly. So first, let's take a look at where to place your flash step. I personally find that placing it in the middle of a grounded B version of Sho's second Rekka hit is where the flash step is most unreactable. Here's an example of that. Now obviously you don't want to only flash step out of his second Rekka, as that could become too predictable. However, it is a great spot to test your opponent's reactions. As far as post flash step combo, Sho has a few options. My go-to are two specific ones, one ending with a super and the other requiring a rejump. Lastly, I want to spend some time talking about EX moves, which in my opinion are more important for Sho than his supers. Sho has many EX moves that are utilized in different ways. The ones that are used the most often are these. The only EX move I want to cover a little bit more in detail is Sho's EX Overhead, as it's an excellent high-low mix-up tool, but it is also one of his most rewarding tools when combined with a Kara Cancel Flash Step. Kara canceling Sho's EX Overhead with the Flash Step allows him to extend certain combos that he wouldn't be able to otherwise, and it is a great way to capitalize on more damage, foregoing the need for an additional mix-up. I won't go too in-depth on how to cancel his EX Overhead, however there is a great video made by Platefork that does a great job of explaining how to execute it. I'll make sure to link that video in the description of this one. Lastly, I want to say, Sho is an extremely rewarding character when learned to his full potential. His game plan strategy as well as execution at higher levels could take some time to develop, and while he has a few downfalls, his upside certainly is great. Hopefully this video helped. I personally really enjoy Sho as a character, and would love to see more of him out there in the wild. So until next time, have fun, be patient, and I'll see y'all later. Peace!